Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your #1 source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Have you seen this little boy? An Amber Alert is in place for this missing 9-year-old, where he was last spotted.
And we're not 100% dry yet. We're still tracking some rain moving in on the dual Doppler 5000 radar, but sunshine is on the horizon and much more of it. I'll let you know when we see that change coming up.
Plus, the Olympic opening ceremony is less than a couple of hours away. And where else can you watch it on a screen this size? Coming up, I'll tell you how you can still get tickets.
The Amber Alert for the Durham 9-year-old Gian King Perriott is still in effect. Good afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. He was last seen 18 hours ago. The Amber Alert went out at 11 p.m. Police say he was abducted by his mother around 6 last night. WRAL's Monica Casey is in the neighborhood where the boy was last seen. Monica, what are you hearing from neighbors there?
People who live here tell me off camera they recognize Gian's photo from the Amber Alert, and they believe he does live in this neighborhood. We are in the 200 block of South Benjamin Street, that is east of downtown Durham. This is the home 202 South Benjamin, where the Amber Alert says Gian and his mother left on foot. Now, this is the photo released with the Amber Alert. Gian King was last seen around 6 last night wearing a black hoodie and black sweatpants. He is 4'10" and about 100 pounds. He is believed to have been abducted by his mother, Mariah King. She is a 33-year-old black female, stands 5 feet 4 inches tall, about 140 pounds. She was last wearing a black crop top and gray sweatpants with her hair in a bun with a ponytail. Now, Mariah King has a criminal history, including convictions for assault on an officer or state employee, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, damage to property, assault or threat, and malicious conduct by a prisoner. The North Carolina Department of Adult Corrections website says King absconded from probation or parole. Now, we did see a Durham police car and an ambulance parked outside of this house within the last hour, but we did not see anyone from that home leave in either of those vehicles. In Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, power lines are down on Falls of Noose Road. Raleigh police, they uploaded these photos. Look at this picture here. It seems as the power pole just kind of snapped right in half there. This is on Falls of Noose Road, the intersection of Millbrook Road. RPD said they're waiting on word from Duke Energy on when this portion of the road can reopen. We're also working to learn who was involved in this, if there were any cars involved in this, or if this simply just happened. As soon as I get any more information, I'll bring it to you from the Live Center.
Well, the very moment sports fans from around the world have waited for is here. Our countdown clock is counting up now. NBC's live coverage has started. The opening ceremony officially starts for the Olympic Games in Paris in about 87 minutes from now. Just a short time ago, the Olympic torch made the last leg of the relay in Paris. Grammy Award-winning hip-hop star Snoop Dogg danced and waved his way through the cheering crowd there. They're yelling his name. The relay also included former UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and decorated Olympic skier Lindsey Vonn. Folks around here, though, locally can watch one of a kind opening ceremony in style at the IMAX, and that is where we find WRAL's Brett Neese. Brett, any seats left there?
Oh, yeah, there's a few seats left here, Jeff, and I got the best seat in the house right now for the Marbles IMAX Museum. This is a screen that is larger than 800 Mona Lisas put together. You can see the opening ceremony coverage already started there. The Eiffel Tower in the background of the shot that they have there for this. They're getting ready for the red carpet, and then, of course, the opening ceremony itself with the athletes coming in on the River Seine on boats. It's going to be an epic watch party here at Marbles Museum. There are still about 100 or so tickets left available. And I talked to the CEO of the Marbles Museum about how this experience to watch an opening ceremony on a screen like this is unlike any other.
You get to learn about the different cultures and the foods and everyone's backstory and where all these athletes come from.
extreme measures to kind of get this thing done. Like they had to keep some secrets from their families, not to spoil any surprises. There's been a few injuries.
Yeah, and so this is just going to be such a celebration, of course. There's so many people here. Doors open at 1 o'clock. There are still about 100 or so tickets available. If you want to come out here and watch this opening ceremony with us, we'll have, of course, complete coverage on our later newscast. Live in Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
And back here on the WRAL Live Center, a massive attack on France's high-speed rail system disrupted travel hours before the opening ceremony. This is what their train station looked like. Hundreds of people were forced to wait. Cables on the tracks were either burned or taken apart. Many trains were either diverted or canceled, disrupting travel for more than 800,000 people. Eurostar, that connects the UK with France, they are canceling a quarter of their trains this weekend. And many think these attacks were intentional because whoever did it, they said, had to have extensive knowledge of the network in order to know exactly where to strike. Authorities are still looking for the people responsible.
The WRAL Weather Alert Day streak is over, but we could see some rain and storms throughout the rest of the day. Meteorologist Kat Campbell is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with how our weekend is looking, and we cannot wait, Kat.
I know, Renee. We just have to get through today. Then we've got drier weather on the way for the weekend. Perfect timing here. 83 today, about a 60% chance of storms, especially in our southern counties. That will really be the focus today. Tomorrow, a 20% chance of a morning sprinkle. After that, we are done with rain chances for the weekend. Highs in the upper 80s, but the humidity is going to be a bit lower over the weekend. So it's really going to be nice. Make some outdoor plans, but not just yet. We have showers moving into the Sandhills. Nothing terribly heavy yet, but this is all going to be moving into our southern counties, tracking along a stalled front. So there is still the threat for some heavy rain and localized flooding as these showers continue to push to the east along this boundary right here. Because of that, a flood watch is in effect only in our southern counties. This does include Fayetteville until 7 o'clock this evening. So be aware of the heavy rain threat. We have a 60% chance of thunderstorms during the afternoon. Again, that chance is much higher in our southern counties, but we see the chance tapering off tonight, and then our stretch of drier weather will arrive for the weekend. Your outdoor plans look great. Plenty of sunshine in store, but just wait until you see our low temperatures. I'll let you know just how low they go Sunday morning coming up.
And back here on the WRAL Live Center, a stolen van from the Durham Rescue Mission crashed into a convenience store earlier this morning. This is a live look right now at the Breezeway. This is on Pool Road, the breeze through 76. You can see the doorway just completely smashed, glass all over the floor. That van has obviously since been removed, but at 7:45 this morning, Raleigh police responded to the breeze through 76 on Pool Road. A bomb squad also went there, but they found no threat. A driver was transporting Rescue Mission clients from the Durham Rescue Mission to a training center when a client snuck into the driver's seat and took off, crashing that van right into the gas station. Police said the person was taken into custody, and this investigation is ongoing.
We're working to learn the name of the person who died in an early morning crash in Orange County. We first reported this during our 5 a.m. news on WRAL. This happened around 5:30 on I-85 North near Orange Grove Road in Orange County. All northbound lanes were shut down for 2 hours. The Highway Patrol is investigating.
Vice President Kamala Harris has secured the backing many Democrats had been anticipating. This morning, her campaign released a new video of her accepting the endorsement from former President Barack Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
Oh my goodness. Michelle, Barack, this means so much to me.
Aides to the Obamas and Harris have discussed them all appearing together on the campaign trail at some point.
Congressman Don Davis of North Carolina is also throwing his support behind Harris, just one day after joining 5 other Democrats in a House vote condemning her record on immigration. The resolution was symbolic, but it contains a lengthy list of grievances against Harris and President Biden. While he supports her candidacy, Congressman Davis shows he is also willing to break ranks to criticize the Biden-Harris administration's performance. He first won election in 2022 to succeed retiring Democratic Representative G.K. Butterfield.
Former President Donald Trump says he will not commit to any future debates until the Democratic Party formally chooses a nominee. This comes after Vice President Kamala Harris accused Trump of backpedaling. The GOP presidential nominee spent a year asking to debate President Joe Biden, stating he would take on Biden anytime, anywhere. Biden and Trump campaigns had agreed to a debate on September 10th. Now Trump's team says it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats could very well still change their minds.
Let's give you a live look of Lake Gaston right now, where environmental agencies have lifted advisories following the fire in South Hill, Virginia. Officials advise people not to swim, wade, kayak, or eat fish from rivers along the Virginia-North Carolina border earlier this month because of a fire at a fertilizer warehouse. Runoff from the fire carried chemicals, including fuel and herbicides, into water sources. Boar's Head is recalling a variety of deli meats as it investigates a listeria outbreak. More than 30 people have gotten sick. 2 people died. The outbreak was first reported last week. People most commonly reported eating deli sliced turkey, ham, liverwurst with an August 10th sell-by date.
And take a look at stocks this noon as we close out this week of trading. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up big numbers, as you see right there, approaching 800 points in positive territory right now. All the major indices are up. NASDAQ is up over 60 points. S&P 500, and then NASDAQ is up over 200 points right now.
Next at noon, an 11-year-old Virginia boy is facing felony charges in Florida for making terrorist threats on schools. How his parents sensed something was wrong.
Also, protecting kids online, the 2 major bills getting bipartisan support in the U.S. Senate and what they're designed to accomplish.
Plus, the U.S. arrested 2 Mexican cartel leaders, including the son of notorious kingpin El Chapo, their connection to fentanyl distribution that led to their capture.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.
In Texas, police are trying to figure out what charges to file against a man who sent a threatening message to his probation officer. Officers tracked Donald Scott to a store in Fort Worth. They found bags nearby containing propane tanks, electric wires, and pressure cookers. Experts say the devices were fake and no one was hurt. Scott has a long criminal record and mental health issues.
An 11-year-old boy faces felony charges after admitting he made threats at school several states away.
Fletcher County Sheriff's Office, Ashley, how can I help you?
I just shot my teacher in the head.
Okay, that 911 call is one of 21 swatting calls made to schools in Florida this month. The sheriff says all but one were placed by a boy who lives in Virginia. During the interview, the child told detectives that he searched ways to hide his identity online. The boy's parents say the child had begun looking at dark and disturbing images online and that he had a dark side. He is now at a facility in Virginia until he can be transferred to Florida. 2 bills aimed at protecting children online received major bipartisan support in the U.S. Senate, leading up to a final vote next week. The Kids Online Safety Act would require sites to protect information of minors and restrict features that may be addictive. The Children and Teens Online Privacy Protection Act looks to ban targeted ads and data collection of minors. The fate of both bills in the House is unknown.
A New Jersey woman's walk on the beach led her to a bridge to the past. She found a message in a bottle that could be the world's oldest. Trish Hartman reports that woman and her relatives documented their search for answers on TikTok.
There it was, right there on the beach.
Amy Smythe Murphy was walking on the beach at Corson's Inlet State Park in Ocean City when she saw something unusual.
I noticed it because the bottle is like a really nice aqua.
It was early in the morning on July 3rd, and she says the glass bottle, corked with something inside, was right there on the sand. She couldn't wait to tell her 14-year-old nephew, Jack.
We made a group chat. Everyone was like decoding it, looking things up.
And her 16-year-old niece, Avery.
She takes out like a message in a bottle. It has the cork and it has like the message in it. I'm like, are you joking?
Once Amy figured out that she wanted to open up the bottle and try and figure out where it came from, she knew she wanted to document the process. And since she had teenagers handy, they got to help her put all the videos on TikTok. From the uncorking process, which released a stench no one expected, to the painstaking removal of the note inside, to the research that followed.
I joined a Reddit group about bottles,
leading Amy to believe the bottle is from 1876, the short note mentioning a yacht based in Atlantic City called the Neptune, along with a business card.
Yacht Neptune is a pleasure yacht owned and operated by Captain Sam.
Steve Nagowitz of Stockton University has spent decades diving to local shipwrecks and written books about underwater archaeology. He says it's possible recent beach replenishment kicked the bottle up to shore.
Getting bottles is always a treasured find, and it's not that hard to do that, especially for that time period where there were a lot of bottles made.
Based on Amy's research, she thinks it could be the oldest message in a bottle ever found. She's reached out to the Guinness Book of World Records and is waiting to hear back.
What a find, huh? As Trish Hartman reporting, the family hopes to figure out who wrote the note and, with the help of social media, if they can connect them to even more answers.
NASA's Perseverance rover just analyzed a rock that could indicate there was life on Mars. Scientists say the rock possibly has what's called a biosignature, meaning it looks like it contains microbes and other small living things. Now, scientists are not claiming to have discovered life on Mars. Here's what they are saying, that the rock might have signs of life from when Mars was warm and wet several billion years ago. They're focused on that rock. If only they could bring it back to Earth to study.
Finding
so then we
stuff,
would know.
Yeah, finding stuff in space, finding neat things on Earth. We're finding some sunshine here headed our way this weekend. That'll be a welcome sight for certain.
I know.
Kat Campbell's over in the WRO Severe Weather Center with these low temps and sunshine.
I'm looking forward to Sunday morning. We're going to dip down into the mid to upper 60s for lows this weekend. Should feel great Sunday. We've got drier air. It's going to be a nice, comfortable, sunny start to the day. So definitely, if you're a fan of that kind of weather, step outside as early as you can Sunday morning. It'll be a little less humid feeling tonight, or right around 70 for the low. It's really Sunday morning and Monday morning that will feel the best. Now, we're not talking a fall crisp morning yet, but it's better feeling out there for the morning. And this is why we've got the front that continues to push offshore, low pressure to our east. And with that counterclockwise flow, we're wrapping around it with a nice north wind pushing in some of that drier, less humid air. Means more sunshine, no rain chances, and that little bit of a drop in humidity. But for now, the front's still nearby and still sitting close to the coastal plain. With that, we're going to watch some showers track along this front, and our southern counties still have the risk for some localized flooding this afternoon and evening. The greatest concentration of rain is going to stay south of the triangle. That does not mean that we're not going to see rain in the triangle today, though. We still have a decent chance of some scattered showers and storms. But Southern Pines seeing some of that rain right now. You know, I've looked at this camera a couple times today, the Longleaf Golf and Family Club. There are multiple people out there each time, even when it's raining, out there playing golf. Luckily, no lightning there right now. And a live look at RDU shows a much different scene. Smooth sailing in terms of travel weather there at RDU. Those showers to the south really shouldn't have a big impact on us. As we look ahead on Futurecast, some light rain possible closer to the triangle this afternoon. But this main band of showers and storms is going to stay in the southern half of our area closer to the coast. Elsewhere, it's going to be more scattered activity that we see into the evening hours. And I think things really quiet down for us after sunset tonight. It'll stay mostly cloudy, and tomorrow some clouds to start, but we'll see plenty of sunshine tomorrow afternoon. If you do want to head out for a quick dog walk, not a bad time to do it right now. It's not too hot out there. You may run into a few showers in our southern counties, but all around a better day for a dog walk than many of the days that we've seen over the past week or two. 83 is our high today. We'll be back in the upper 80s this weekend, so it's feeling hotter, but not quite as humid. Once we get to early next week, a very late July, early August type of pattern setting up. Highs are going to be in the 80s to even lower 90s. It'll be humid, and we'll have a chance for some scattered thunderstorms most days. Not quite the setup, though, for the rain that we've seen this week. And just wait until you see how much rain that we have seen. We're going to have a closer look at that coming up.
I bet it will be eye-popping, but nice to see no extreme heat for the next 7 days. Protecting yourself from Bitcoin scams just got even more urgent. Today at 5:30, how a Wake County court ruling is making it even harder to recover money lost in these scams.
Well, it's a new tool for communication in Wilson County played a significant role in how the fire department responded to Wednesday's deadly crash on I-95. Coming up on WRAL News at 5, we'll show you how it works and why first responders say it could save a life. Well, still ahead this noon when it comes to your finances. Don't let the election cycle cause you to have a knee-jerk reaction. We'll share key advice to help you emotion-proof your finances.
Plus, a new search engine could eliminate the need to visit multiple sites to get information about your favorite topic. The company taking on Google. The upcoming presidential election can bring out strong emotions in people, but those feelings can derail your financial plans. Sharon Epperson explains how to emotion-proof your finances.
A lot of people are worried about their investments. According to a survey from Betterment, more than half of investors are feeling anxious about what the upcoming election could mean for their portfolio. And 40% of them expect to move or pull some of their investments based on who is elected. I talked to a few financial therapists about how to keep election jitters in check and what to do to emotion-proof your portfolio. Here's what they recommended. First, picture your goals, literally. Financial therapist Erica Wasserman recommends posting a photo of what you hope to achieve with your investments on your front door or in your office, a picture of a house, business, where you want to retire. That's your vision. Then separate fact from fiction. Write down what worries you about your finances and investments. Mark it with a T or an F for true or false. Deal with what's true and what's necessary to help you reach your goals. Put aside everything else. Most important, focus on what you can control. Review and reevaluate your investments. Keep in mind your time horizon and spread out the stressors. Financial therapist Megan McCoy recommends writing down what stresses you, then map out the steps that are in your control that you can take to address those issues, and use that as an exercise and an outlet for your stress and anxiety.
Sharon Epperson reporting. JP Morgan Chase is embracing AI. The bank is rolling out a chatbot in-house that can do the work of a research analyst. It's giving employees its wealth management business access to that chatbot, which can help them with writing and summarizing documents. Rival Morgan Stanley partnered with OpenAI last year to offer financial advisors access to all the bank's research information. OpenAI is testing our search engine powered by ChatGPT that could put it in direct competition with Google. OpenAI is releasing a preview of SearchGPT to get feedback from a small group of users and content publishers. The goal is to quickly answer a user's questions so they don't need to visit another site for more information.
Two alleged top leaders of a notorious Mexican drug cartel are now in U.S. custody. How one of the men helped take down the other for U.S. officials.
The housing shortage that worsened during the pandemic is driving the price of some first-time buyer homes sky high. Just wait until you hear the asking price. And here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We'll be right back.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now, we have breaking news to tell you about. WRAL's Monica Casey is in Durham on the scene of a large police presence at a Food Lion store.
It's right at the intersection of Pilot and Fayetteville Road. Monica, what can you tell us there?
Yeah, Jeff, Renee, we are still working to learn what is going on here right now. We are just south of downtown Durham. So far, I have counted about 12 Durham police cruisers in this area. You can see a large group of law enforcement right over here. There are also some police from North Carolina Central University here as well. This scene, if you will, there's no caution tape up at this point, no flashing lights, but we are seeing officers cross the street over here. This is Fayetteville Street running in this direction, and we are seeing more and more officers come to the scene here. We're still working to learn what has brought them here. I've seen some police cruisers go flying up Pilot Street here as well, and then closer to the Food Lion, we have seen some officers in that area. So clearly a scene here right now, but no caution tape here, no flashing lights, but definitely a sense of urgency here at the intersection of Fayetteville and Pilot Streets, just south of downtown Durham. In Durham, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
And as soon as Monica has any more information, we'll certainly bring that to you here in this newscast as we monitor that situation over there at the Food Lion in Durham. Two alleged leaders of one of Mexico's most notorious drug cartels are now in U.S. custody. Madeline Rivera has background on what could be a major blow to a cartel.
Fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat our country has ever faced.
Attorney General Merrick Garland underscoring the seriousness of the drug epidemic sweeping across the United States as he announces the arrest of two key leaders of the notorious Sinaloa drug cartel, Ismael Zambada Garcia, known as El Mayo, and Joaquin Guzman Lopez.
Both men are facing multiple charges in the United States for leading the cartel's criminal operations.
El Mayo, one of the cartel's alleged co-founders and long sought after by U.S. law enforcement, was unknowingly lured to the U.S. on a private plane Thursday under false pretenses by Guzman Lopez, the son of the cartel's other co-founder, El Chapo. The Sinaloa cartel is one of the most powerful and violent drug trafficking organizations in Mexico, responsible for distributing fentanyl, cocaine, and other drugs throughout the United States and Europe.
This capture is huge. It's still early to see what the impact will be in Mexico, but it's certainly going to change, no question about it.
In a statement, President Biden commended law enforcement for arresting the two men and for continuing to bring Sinaloa cartel leaders to justice. El Mayo and Guzman Lopez joined other top Sinaloa leaders in U.S. custody, including El Chapo, who was sentenced to life in prison on drug conspiracy charges in 2019.
The Justice Department will not rest until every single cartel leader, member, and associate responsible for poisoning our communities is held accountable.
That was Madeline Rivera reporting. The Justice Department says both men will make their initial appearances in federal court in the coming days.
New information in a disturbing story we've been following for some time. A month ago, a Fayetteville mother, Avante Devon, was arrested and accused of torturing and killing two of her adopted children and hiding their bodies. Only on WRAL, a woman reached out to our investigative unit to say Devon tortured her as well, decades before the murder she's accused of committing. Tiffany Kreft says she went to live with the Devon family and a family member back in 2000 in Las Vegas. Not long after getting there, she said Devon starved her and kept her in a very small space and forced her to live in deplorable conditions. Kreft says investigators approached her about Devon months ago.
Didn't have my own bed to sleep in, had to sleep on the floor.
Hear what else she claims tonight on WRAL News at 6.
A person is dead after being hit by a car in Fayetteville. The crash happened at Cliffdale Road and Bunts Road around 9:50 last night. Police say the person who was hit was crossing the road outside of a crosswalk. We're working to learn the name of the person who was hit and whether any charges will be filed. Covering Wake County, no one was badly hurt when this car flipped over after a crash in Gardner. Police say the crash involved two drivers around 6:40 p.m. One of the cars failed to stop at a red light at Fayetteville Road and Garner Station Boulevard.
Nearly 40,000 Americans registered to vote in the 48 hours after President Biden announced he was suspending his re-election campaign and endorsing Vice President Harris. That's according to Vote.org, the largest nonpartisan registration organization in the country. Since Harris announced she would be running, young Democrats and Generation Z voters have enthusiastically backed her campaign against former President Trump.
I think when young voters show up, it can be outcome determinative. So I think this is a really important sign. And even more important than just one election, on-ramping the next generation into our democracy is important for the United States of America overall. So it's really exciting to see this high of engagement this early in the election cycle and to see that all of a sudden people are really clicking in. And I think this younger generation is showing up to vote.
Also, according to Vote.org, Harris performs better than Trump among undecided, independent, and third-party Latino voters, as well as Latino voters who are skeptical of both Biden and Trump.
Elections officials in 48 states say there are no obstacles preventing Harris's name from being put on the ballot if she becomes the official Democratic nominee. This rejects claims made by House Speaker Mike Johnson. Election law experts say there will not be a legal issue because President Biden was never officially named as a 2024 nominee, nor was his name submitted to states as the nominee. On the Republican side, former President Trump is expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today at his Mar-a-Lago resort. Authorities in Florida say they are ready. The Palm Beach County Sheriff says Officers are well trained, having protected Trump for 4 years. Officials plan to shut down the road from the airport to the estate. Tonight, Trump will be a featured speaker at the Believers Summit in West Palm Beach. That event will also feature a speech by John Amachukwu, youth and young adult pastor at the Upper Room Church of God in Christ in Raleigh. Is a double mastectomy the way to go when you have cancer in one breast? The new research that compares the outcome of single and double mastectomies. The findings may surprise you.
Talk about celebrating first. This will be the first Olympics where North Carolinians can place legal bets. The sport's expected to bring in the highest volume of wagers. Our team is working to bring you exclusive stories for coverage you'll find only on WRAL. Visit WRAL.com and search only.
It is an overcast Friday. We're going to take you way up and give you the live view from the WRAL Tower Cam looking at southeast Wake County. Not raining now, but we could see scattered showers and storms later this afternoon and evening. You're looking live and watching WRAL News, available on Spectrum and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. Double mastectomies do not improve survival rates for breast cancer patients. Most patients who kept their other breast had the same survival rates as those who had double mastectomies. Women who had single mastectomies faced a roughly 7% chance of seeing cancer in the other breast over 20 years. And those who had double mastectomies also rarely saw cancer later in the small amount of remaining breast tissue.
A new study finds more adults are choosing not to have children. It found that the number of childless American adults younger than 50 years leapt from 37% in 2018 to 47% in 2023. Among the reasons why, financial concerns, infertility, or that it just didn't work out. For people younger than 50, the top reason reported for not having children was because they simply don't want to. A new report from Zillow found a typical starter home is now worth $1 million or more in 200 cities. That's up from 84 cities in 2019. Half of all U.S. states have at least one city with entry-level homes worth an average of $1 million. Part of the problem is supply and demand. There is a shortage of homes for sale compared to demand, which has driven up prices.
Odds are legal gambling will see a spike in wagers as the Olympic Games in Paris get underway. Coming up, how states have been paving the way for more sports betting since the last Summer Olympics.
And you might want to think twice before you pop the bubbly from this haul, where divers found this 19th century stock of champagne.
Getting chills hearing the Olympic music. It's exciting.
So
Legalized sports betting could get a big boost as athletes from around the world compete in the Paris Games.
Since the last Summer Games in Tokyo, an additional 16 states have now adopted legalized betting, allowing Americans to win big as athletes, allowing more Americans to cash in as Americans go for gold. And Brady Trimble has details.
Let the games and the gambling begin.
The 2024 Paris Olympics will be truly the first moment for the broader American betting public to take a look at the Olympics and potentially offer some bets.
In 2021, when the Tokyo Summer Games took place, 97 million American adults were able to place a bet. Heading into the Paris Olympics, that number has ballooned to 164 million, according to the American Gaming Association.
40% of the adult population in 2021 lived in live legal betting states. Today, 67% of American adults live in live legal states.
That's because 38 states plus Washington, D.C. now allow some form of legal gambling since the Supreme Court cleared the way for nationwide sports betting in 2018.
20 million people bet on the Tokyo Games. We would expect that number to double this time.
Experts say part of that increase is because Paris's time zone is more favorable for American viewers and because of the rise of streaming.
Paris is 6 hours ahead of New York, which means that all of these events are going to be streamed live in the U.S.
Basketball, soccer, golf, and tennis are expected to bring in the highest volume of betting. Still, despite widespread availability, not all of the 38 states with legal gambling will allow people to bet on all events.
New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Delaware, and Montana do not allow any Olympic betting. Some states, such as Massachusetts, prohibit wagering on events that are judged.
The games are also coming at an ideal time for the growing gambling industry.
What the Olympics have going for it with the American betting public is that July and August are historically the months with the lowest levels of betting volume.
There's Grady Trimble reporting, and whether you are betting on Team USA or individual athletes, experts say it's crucial to have a game plan and bet responsibly. It all changed when they allowed professional paid athletes in. You knew the betting was going to be not far behind.
And it all changed for North Carolina when sports betting here started during March Madness. And so now the Olympics, you can watch it in a whole new way.
It's a good bet we'll get some sunshine this weekend. Loving that.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. And Kat Campbell in the WRL Severe Weather Center, if we were giving out gold medals for rainy months, July would win.
I mean, this is remarkable. Just a week ago, we were in a moderate drought. And we are now talking record rain. So it has actually been the wettest July to date on record at RDU. Over 9 inches of rain this month. And we are running more than 5 inches above normal for rainfall. So pretty remarkable, not just that it's been so wet this month, but that we flipped so quickly from such dry weather to this soggy pattern. And you can see it all on the calendar here. We've had about 70% of the days this month that have recorded at least a trace of rain out at RDU. At Apex, still cloudy out there, but it's looking better and things are quiet for the Triangle. It's our southern counties where we've got the steady rain all across Hope County, Rayford, and Fayetteville. This is going to be moving in and it's going to stick with you for a couple of hours, this rain, once it arrives. Some pretty steady rain, but light rain moving through much more county, including Pinehurst. And this all is going to be headed toward Hardin County, eventually in Johnston County, especially south of I-95 there. So be prepared for the rain this afternoon. We're not done yet. A few spotty showers around Sanford, and some of the rain in Chatham County could reach Wake County, but it's not going to be the pouring rain like we saw yesterday, more than likely. The flood risk closer to where we have this front, and that's why we expect the greater threat of flooding and that flood watch in effect until 7 o'clock for our southern counties. But the weekend features more sunshine, partly cloudy, highs are in the upper 80s. Check this number out, 65 degrees Sunday morning. Boy, it's going to be feeling good out there, drier. It's not a crisp fall feel, but it's just a more comfortable summer morning in store. As you wake up tomorrow, it's not going to be quite that cool. We're talking temperatures around 70 degrees. As we look toward lunchtime, it's about 81, and dinner time temperatures tomorrow are in the low 80s as well. If you want to grill out, should be a pretty nice day to do so. Futurecast continues to show just scattered hit or miss storms through the afternoon. Best chances in our southern counties. And then as we head past sunset tonight, we should really begin to see this activity die down and we dry out as we head throughout the overnight hours. You may wake up to cloud cover early tomorrow morning. Don't worry, we do expect those clouds to clear and likely to see more sunshine during the afternoon hours. Sunday, partly cloudy, but it's a nice day, especially with that morning low of 65. Less humid feeling Sunday compared to Saturday. Next week, though, we're headed more toward typical summer weather. It's going to be warm, it's going to be humid, but we don't have those mid to upper 90s. The hottest day is next Thursday at 93.
Kat, thank you. It's not every day you can call yourself a Guinness World Record holder. How one teen claimed the crown. As we wrap things up, here's a look at a few of the headlines we're following today.
Police in Durham are still working to find missing 9-year-old Gian King Perriott. An Amber Alert was issued late last night. He's 4'10", weighs 100 pounds, and was last seen on South Benjamin Street in Durham. He is believed to be with his biological mother, 33-year-old Mariah King. If you have any information, you should call 911. We're continuing to follow breaking news of a van crashing through a gas station on Poole Road in Raleigh. Officials say it was a Durham Rescue Mission van taking clients to a training center when one client jumped into the driver's seat and took off. The driver is now in custody and an investigation is underway.
WRAL has obtained new information in the disturbing story of Avante Devon. She was arrested and accused of torturing and killing 2 of her adopted children and hiding their bodies. Only on WRAL, a woman reached out to our investigative unit to say Devin tortured her as well and forced her to live in deplorable conditions. This all happened decades before the murders she's accused of committing.
Polish divers discovered a ship at the bottom of the Baltic Sea filled with about 100 bottles of champagne and other luxury items. The wreckage was discovered earlier this month, about 190 feet underwater off the Swedish coast. The team leader believes the ship sank sometime in the second half of the 19th century because of the brand of mineral water that was found on board. They could figure that out. And they haven't determined the brand of champagne because they could only make out the letter R on one cork.
A Native American teen is going down in the record books as he proudly represents his tribe. Ruben Looks Twice Jr. claimed the Guinness World Record title for world's longest hair on a male teenager. Ruben started growing his hair at 2 years old because he was afraid of clippers. And as he got older, he kept his hair because it was part of his identity. Measuring 5 feet and 3.3 inches, Ruben's father says his son's hair represents strength and connection to their ancestors.
They say when you grow your hair out like that and you put it in knots and braids like this, each one of these knots, it represents a family member. And when you wear it, it gives you strength in whatever you do in life or wherever you go in life.
Amazing. You know, his hair length, 5 foot 3 inches, that's my height. Ruben says he doesn't plan on ever cutting his hair and hopes his world record will make his family and tribe proud.
Another week, he'll be taller than you. It's a time for a look at our pet of the day right now, Shiloh. Hello. This is a 7-year-old male dog, weighs 82 pounds, the longest resident at the SPCA, and has been voted the most underrated dog at the shelter. Shiloh's a love bug who loves attention and will melt in your lap. He's well trained, but tends to be nervous around men. For more information about adopting Shiloh, visit spcawake.org.
And in just 35 minutes, you'll be able to watch the opening ceremony live from Paris on WRAL. So cool that they're going to have the Parade of Nations right there on the Seine, outdoors, not in some boring stadium. It'll be something to watch.
First time ever. I hope that rain holds off there. They've had some sprinkles there. You know, that'd be a really nice way to do it. And everybody gets there on time after that whole train debacle that they're having over there.
I know what I'll be doing this afternoon as we look live at the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
You can get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app.
Have a great day, everybody.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.